Hello, everyone. It is Janine, the Pricing Lady here. Welcome to Live with the Pricing Lady. I work with small business owners to help them know what to do when it comes to pricing in their business, how to build the right strategy so that they can close more deals and build a profitable business for the future. I'm super excited to have everybody here with me today, especially my very special guest, Eva Medilek. Hello, Eva. Welcome to the show.
Hi, nice to be here. I'm really excited about being coached live on with you. I mean, it's super exciting.
No, I'm very thrilled to have you here. For those of you who didn't read it in some of the copy we sent out, Eva and I met recently in London. Right now, we're both I believe we're both in California. Is that correct?
Yes, we are.
So you live here, and I'm actually visiting my family, hence the different background. For those of you who watch regularly, this will not be familiar. So, Eva, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am a personal success coach and a certified high performance coach. And so who I help is executives, entrepreneurs, influencers, and business leaders, and really in that high level to actually sustain heightened levels of success in business, but not just their business, in their personal life as well, because a lot of people feel that they need to sacrifice their personal life if they're really rising in business, and vice versa. And so I do it by helping them develop relationships and influence, taking responsibility, and implementing the habits for success.
Yeah, no, that's very true. A lot of times success in one area tends to come at the expense of another, and keeping that, I don't call it balance, I call it that rhythm. We go through these rhythms where sometimes the rhythm focus needs to be a little bit more here, but we need to be more aware of that. And so that's really important. I don't know if you and I had spoken about it. A few years ago, I went through a burnout of my own. So I understand that.
Yeah. And I love how you say it's a rhythm, because, there really is no way to keep it balanced, but there are certain times your professional life needs your attention, but it's temporary.
Right.
You always want to learn how to balance and maintain your relationships at home. So I call it scheduling and balance.
Right. Oh, that's very good. Yes. So I'd like to also welcome those of you who are watching us live. So good morning, Annette, and the rest of you who have joined us. So Eva, we wanted to talk about pricing today, and you were interested in some coaching. So why don't you first tell us, because I always start this, those of you who watch and follow me, I always start pricing with what? The customer. So I'd like to understand a little bit more about who your target or your customer avatar is.
Well, my customer avatar is the entrepreneur, the busy professional, the executive leader, and influencers. I know there are a lot of influencers out there that are finding themselves getting in a space of burnout. And so I like to help this client avatar achieve the habits of high performance, which will lead to success in both personal and their professional lives. Because when you feel that you are lacking in one or the other, that's when you kind of get off balance and feel like you're not accomplishing. And that's where burnout can start to happen.
Right. Okay. So then that's going to help us as we go through this, because pricing is always, in my opinion, rooted in a deep understanding of who the customer is. Simply by understanding who they are, even before you understand what you're offering, by understanding who they are, you understand what the problem is that they're looking to have solved, or the goal that they're trying to achieve, as well as you start to get an inkling of what that type of person might actually be willing to pay for something. And that simply is based on who they are and how they behave. So that's a very important part of the pricing piece. So why don't you tell us about the question that you have, or the area in which you'd like to get a little bit more insight?
Well, the question I have is merging my zone of geniuses together. So relationship coaching is what I do, because I feel that connection is currency. Connection is currency in your personal life, and it's currency in your business life. And I want to merge that with the specific principles of the high performance coaching. So I'm taking my client on a journey. The relationship piece actually deals with how their early life experiences is showing up to damage their current present relationships, both at home and at work. And then the high performance coaching is more future focused. What do you need to do? What habits do you need to have to create your best self for the future and create that success?
Right. Okay.
Was that clear?
And so then in a pricing context, what is the big question, I guess I would call it, for right now?
Well, the pricing context, for the first thing I want to know is, because I do have them priced out separately, what does this merge look like? And just to give you an idea, the relationship piece is the first month, and then the high performance is the 3 months after. So it's a total of 4 months on this journey.
Right.
And so because I am actually beta testing the merge of the two separate processes together, what is the best way to price that for? I want to call in 5 people to beta test it. And I know that they're going to get amazing results actually dealing with what they need to deal with in the relationship piece, and then really bringing high performance into their life. So that's kind of really where I want to go. The regular pricing, and then how much do you discount it for the beta testing?
Right. Okay. So how much do you discount it? So first of all, let me, share something that's really important for people to understand. So your pricing is always speaking to your customers, which means that the number that you give, your behavior around the prices, how you communicate those prices, are actually giving them additional information about the value you deliver, how you value yourself, the brand in your business. So it's important not to just think about what price you set, but then how you're behaving around that price or those prices, because that is an indication. The best example I can give is when, traditional businesses that sell widgets, they'll have monthly quotas. And if they're not going to meet their quota, what do they do at the end of the month? They start offering discounts. And in month 1, it's a novelty to customers. And then the smart ones in month 2, the smart customers think, oh, maybe we should wait until the end of the month and see if they're going to offer discounts again. And with time, you're basically training customers to wait until the end of the month, because then they can get a better price from you. This is the kind of thing that I mean, that your prices and your actions around your pricing are always communicating with customers. So keep that in the back of your head. When it comes to launching new products, what I observe and have seen many times over is people use what we call a penetration strategy, which simply means they go in at a low price, and the hope or the plan is that they'll gain some traction and then they can raise prices over time. I think that works in very few cases effectively. So what I would recommend, or how I see it a little bit different, is tell people what the actual price is, and then make a special offer that it's going to be at this price for this many people, and you have to order it within this time frame. And that way it's time constrained and it's a limited offer, but you've made very clear what the actual price or value of it is. And this way, next time when you don't have the special offer, then people aren't surprised by a new price out there in the universe.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense.
So it's all about holding the value.
Yeah. And the other question I have for you is, what do you feel about stating the price in an email communication as opposed to an in-person conversation, or like a telephone conversation?
I think it depends on your sales process. So how do you have that conversation, and when do you have that pricing conversation? It's also a matter of, is this an offer that you're going to make to people who have already worked with you? People who haven't worked with you but know you well, for example, they followed you a lot and they're consuming your content? Or is this to anyone, even people who don't have any sort of relationship with you? because that can really change things. I think the first two groups are people who understand the value that you deliver better than the latter group. So they will be, in a sense, less price sensitive because they'll understand that value.
Got it. Got it. So let me just make sure I'm clear in understanding you. If I were to reach out to people who hadn't worked with me, but have just followed me, seen me, heard what I have to say in my coaching through email or through Facebook Lives, I should put a call to action to get them on the phone and then explain the pricing structure along with what is included.
Yeah, it depends on how you want to achieve it. So there's two schools of thought around, are you transparent with the price up front, or do you wait until they understand the value? So sometimes if you put the price, let's just talk about in the context of a web page, because this is the context I answered in, but the same rules apply. If you put the price on a landing page to begin with, then a certain number of people will be filtered out. Now, some people think that's a bad thing. Other people think that's a good thing, right? Yeah. It also, I don't want to say premium prices are not transparent, because that's not the message. But in a premium, when you're talking about premium services and premium products, a lot of times there's a bit more education that needs to happen before people understand the value.
Yes.
So in your case, I would say for that group of people who aren't as familiar with you, you probably need to build the value, their understanding of the value that they can get from working with you before you give them a price, unless you just want to weed people out who feel that's too expensive from the start.
Got it. Because I'm in the process of updating my website, and there is a sales page on there, and the woman I was working with put the price on there, and initially I was like, is that something I want to have right out there, or do I want to just invite people to really, get on a conversation with me so that they could know what's included in that package in more detail?
In my opinion, so with coaching, with a lot of service-based businesses, the relationship with the person is so important to the whole process, and you want to get an idea of what that relationship is going to be like before you work with them, before you decide to work with them as well. You may want to have that, start building that rapport and get a sense for that, because let's be honest about, not all clients are good clients.
Exactly. Yeah? Well, there is an application process to work with me.
There is. Okay.
Yeah. No. Totally.
So I guess in your case, it really depends on whether or not you want to very gently create this sort of barrier, for people, saying, okay, if you're not willing to pay this much, then don't sign up for my discovery call or for our conversation. Yeah. If you want to weed that out from the start, then you could put that on there. But if that's not what you want to do, if you want to have a conversation with people first, because I also very strongly believe that just because someone's not in the space to be a client today, for whatever reason, doesn't mean they might not be tomorrow.
Of course, absolutely. And, I'm all about the relationships and connections. So I love getting people on the phone. I love hearing their story. I love sharing mine with them and really letting them know specifically how I can help them personally with what they're dealing with, as opposed to making it very generic.
Right.
On a web page and stuff. So this has been really, really helpful in the direction that I'm going in. With what to include on my webpage as far as the pricing piece as well.
Right. Awesome. And I mean, keep in mind, because we also have a question here from Kishot. Kishot, I'll get to your question in a moment. But keep in mind, I always have in the back of my head this little scale, price and value. And it's always there. And I'm very aware of when I make a decision around pricing or an offer that I'm putting together, I'm always very aware of, am I keeping that scale in balance?
Yes.
That's what pricing is really about in the end, is about keeping that price value scale in balance and making sure not that it's just fair to the customer, but it's also fair to ourselves.
Yeah, especially with our time and energy and effort.
Right, right. And I mean, all the years that all the things that we've gone through to get to where we are, to be able to help people in the way that we can today, that's a big part of it as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Kishat, I believe he's in Sri Lanka right now. So hello, Kishat. Welcome, friend. Thank you for joining. He asks, what is the value we can add when we provide service packages? Well, that's a very general and broad question. Thank you for asking. It's a good question as well. You always have to look in the context of who you are targeting. Mm-hmm. So, for example, in Eva's case, I would guess, and maybe you tell me wrong, one of the reasons you decided to put these packages together is because you see that as part of a continuing journey that you could go on with your customers, which is going to bring them more value. I would suspect maybe you'd like to.
Absolutely. Yeah, because it is that journey of success, but it's got to be sustainable. Mm-hmm. It is really part of human nature to get all excited about something, the new shiny object, the new toy, and start playing with it. And then as soon as the challenge or life gets in the way, we put the toy aside, so to speak. And so the journey I'm taking my clients on is to maintain those levels of habits that bring success in every area of your life, so that you don't find yourself on this roller coaster and in burnout again, or stressed out or overwhelmed, or whatever it looks like, or your relationships failing.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that's a perfect example. With time, you were observing what your customers would benefit from. Maybe some of them had even asked you, well, how can I keep this going and maintain it? Mm-hmm. So a combination of your experience and what you see people needing, as well as the feedback and what you're hearing from customers. I have a similar situation. Several of my clients have said, okay, I want to work with you again. What's next? Mm-hmm. And when a client asks what's next, you're like, oh, if you don't have anything, the answer is, well, right now, nothing. And that's not the answer you necessarily want to be giving people. So, one way to understand what you can add, Kishat, is to ask and talk to your customers. When I was there in Sri Lanka with you, we also talked about doing customer interviews. It's a great way to understand what it is they're looking for and how best you can help them get to where they want to go, or find the solution that they're looking for.
I love to survey my list all the time. Like, what are you looking for? Because a lot of times you'll think you know what they need, but they may have a different need, even though you know
exactly. That's a very good point. And sometimes, as much as we love our customers, sometimes they don't know. And as a customer, sometimes I don't know what I need.
Yeah. The questionnaires really help pull some things out of you to get you thinking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They do. Customer surveys are great, a great way to understand. You do have to ask questions in a way that helps you tease out the answers without them introducing sort of a bias into it that isn't helpful to either one of you. And that can be tricky, but there's a lot of information online about how to put those together.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Are there any other questions from your side as we wrap this up?
It just kind of popped up, I do have the new packaging that puts them together. Would you recommend also, with the beta testing that I'm putting them together, keeping them separate and having two separate prices, and then another price for putting them together?
I think one way is another very wonderful thing about pricing, but something we have to be responsible about is what we do with our pricing can also steer customer behavior.
Yeah.
If you offer them separate, but you also have a bundle, if they, a special price, maybe 5 or 7% less, where they save a little bit by ordering it as a full package, that can actually incentivize people to buy the whole thing rather than just one piece. So you could Because I would guess, and maybe you tell me wrong, the 1 month package is your lowest price,
Yes,
and then the 3 months is a little bit more, and then you could have the premium, which has the 2 in there. And I love having the package of and offer 3 things, yeah. And that gives people an idea. The only question is, do you want to do them separately anymore? Yeah. Is that?
Yeah. That would be something I'm not opposed to as well.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Very good.
Oh, that was great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, Eva, anything else you'd like to ask or leave the audience with, your own experience around pricing?
Well, pricing can be tricky, like you say, because it does indicate the value you're putting on your services. And I know there are a lot of entrepreneurs that struggle with that, because we know what we want to give and help people with, but we struggle with putting a price and a value on it. So this has been really, really helpful for me on how to at least start structuring some things. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Very good. Well, thank you for being a guest on the show. It was a pleasure to have you here. I'd like to thank all of you who are watching us. So Eva, if people wanted to get in touch with you, where should they reach out?
You know what? I answer all of my emails, so they can email me directly. Thank you for putting that up there.
Yeah.
And I am also on LinkedIn as my name as well.
Right. So Eva at evamedilek.com is the best place to reach out and find Eva if you'd like to know more about what she's doing. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you're interested in finding out more about pricing in your business or about how you're doing with pricing, I suggest the best place to start is with my pricing scorecard. Answer a few questions, and then you'll get a personalized scorecard from me, which will give you some ideas about how you're doing, where it's going well, and where you can start improving the most. So check that out at JanineListon.com/pricing-scorecard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the show today. Thank you so much for joining us. Next week, I will be traveling, so we probably won't have a show. But if I get over my jet lag quickly, like within 14 hours, you might see me pop up here at the last minute. Thank you, Kishat. Thank you, Annette. And thank you so much, Eva, for being with me. I wish you all a nice day and have a great, it's Thursday, so I can wish you a great weekend. All the best, everyone.
All right. Bye.